Today's gas prices are rising as we speak, and guess what? Our country is not pushing it as it should. The United States to stop relying on fossil fuels and start heading towards a clean, more renewable energy source. My claim of fact here is the United States needs to switch to a more clean, renewable energy source. The definition of a renewable energy source is electricity and heat produced by solar, wind, tidal, wave, and hydroelectric power that is not derived from fossil fuel or nuclear fuel. Whether it is for improving our country, helping other countries, or for reducing pollution that can possibly stop global warming, our country needs to make steps towards obtaining a more clean, renewable energy source. The U.S. switching to a renewable energy source will improve the economy in the future. Fossil fuels are running out. Oil and gas are becoming scarce. Even before they run out, they will become more expensive, and this will devastate our economy. So the resulting energy crisis will have a devastating impact on the global economy also. Even Barack Obama, our current president, in his address to joint session of Congress speech states, to truly transform our economy, protect our security, and save our planet from the ravages of climate change, we need to ultimately make clean, renewable energy the profitable kind of energy. Most of the technology needed to shift to clean, renewable energy already exists, so we won't be needing money to research it. So why not do it? Also, many jobs will be made by switching to a more clean, renewable energy source, such as factory jobs, technician jobs, and other jobs. Finally, it means the U.S. will not need to rely on foreign energy sources, and it will improve our domestic economy. The U.S. switching to a renewable energy source will also help the rest of the world. The U.S. has great influence on other countries, therefore it can influence third world countries to switch also to a new renewable energy source. The need for energy goes up every year, especially for more developing countries advance. When they have access to domestically produced energy, it will make their development process easier as local economies benefit from the abundance of businesses and jobs. Finally, it can reduce global warming, which affects the whole world, and it brings me to my third point. The EDF, Environmental Defense Fund, states that 65% of global warming is estimated to come from energy generation and use. Renewable energy, unlike fossil fuels, is clean and will have very little pollution to our environment we live in. Alternative renewable energy sources are a wonderful way for reducing pollution. For example, waste to energy is a great method of turning discarded trash into desperately needed energy to power and heat our homes. Hillary Rodham Clinton states in her Cleantech Venture speech, "Clearly we need more incentives to quickly increase the use of wind and solar power. They will cut costs, increase our energy independence and our national security, and reduce the consequence of global warming. Switching to a renewable energy source will reduce the excess pollution and possibly stop global warming." In conclusion, the U.S. switching from fossil fuels to a renewable energy source will help its economy and the world, whether it be from a strong influence on other countries, the beneficial factor it will have on the U.S. economy in the future, or a reduction in pollution it will have and possibly stop global warming. The United States needs to switch to a cleaner renewable energy source at once. Thanks.
Right, well, it almost starts off like a policy claim, but you do shift it to a need argument at the beginning, so I think that you missed the bullet there. The secondary points, though, are not really previewed for the audience, and so when they come up, they're not always as clear as they should be, and I think material runs together. I did hear a distinct citation on your third point, but I couldn't tell what the first 2 points were. At the end of the speech, in your summary, you give a little bit clearer statement of what those secondary points were supposed to be. And so looking back, I can see some connections on those points. I'm not sure there's a dispute about ultimately the need to have alternative forms of fuel. The question is how quick and whether or not they are efficient or cost effective. You assert that we already have the technology, so it's just a matter of doing it. We don't need to do any more research on it. I'm not sure that that is in fact the case. And the fact that the technology is available doesn't necessarily mean that it's cost effective. So for instance, if we can get electricity from solar panels, for instance, but it costs us $10,000 to get $5,000 worth of electricity, that's a little bit problematic. So it's economic issues that I think are blocking a lot of these alternative energy sources, and you don't really come to grips with any of the technical issues on those points. You kind of keep it at a very generic level. The notion that some of these things would also have pollution benefits as well, you know what, I'll wait, because it's just hard for me to compete with the noise. Like I said, I'm kind of a linear thinker, and so the other people talking is distracting to me. The pollution issues that are being presented, I think that they're so generic that we don't really even know that we're going to get a benefit by turning to some of these alternatives. For example, you talk about waste to energy. Waste to energy is burning trash. How is burning trash going to reduce global warming? I didn't get any explanation of how that kind of thing would work. What contribution, what amount of electricity could replace the fossil fuel generated electricity that we have from any of these alternatives that you're talking about, and how quickly could those happen? I think you need to talk about that. How soon are we going to run out of the fossil fuels that we currently depend on? We don't get any information about that. So it stays at a very abstract and general level, and you need to get into the details a little bit more. And I think it might make more sense, for instance, to commit to a particular energy and say, you know what, this is the energy that can effectively replace fossil fuels or oil as our primary source of energy, and then maybe develop that. If you had that focus, I think that you would be more obviously finding information that supports that particular claim. All right. Oh, I did like the presentation. I thought, look, you were loud and clear and easy to listen to. I thought you had pretty good audience contact. You sound committed when you're speaking, but you need to have some substance to what you're saying when you are speaking it. You know?